palpable. It can be measured in generations. I look back at the fact that my grandfather, born in 1921 in Sally, South Carolina, when he was on a sidewalk, a white person was coming, he had to step off and not make eye contact. That man believed then, with some doubt now, in the goodness of America, because he believed that having faith in God, faith in himself, and faith in what the future could hold for his kids would unleash opportunities in ways that you cannot imagine. Every kid today can look, just change the stations and see how much progress has been made in this country. ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, CNN, Fox News all have African American and Hispanic hosts. So what I'm suggesting is that the yesterday's exception is today's rule. And for us to suggest—
America has met its promise.
No, of course, the concept of America is that we are going to become a more perfect union. That in fact, the challenges that we faced 50 years ago and 60 years ago should not be the same challenges that we face today. And here's the way that you measure that. When my mother was born, about 10% of African Americans got a high school degree, diploma. Today, it's over 90%. When you look at the income, success that we've had—
That's an HBCU stat.
Well, listen, HBCU stat is a good one, because one of the reasons why I took the funding for HBCUs to the highest level in the history of the country, and then I helped make it permanent, is because I believe that education is the closest thing to magic in America. So I'm about making sure that our kids have as many opportunities to succeed as possible.
Who would have guessed that Mr. Tim Scott is woke? He's woke. He's still promoting woke policies. Oh my goodness. Diversity and inclusion. Equity and inclusion, was it? So he's talking about all these so-called black people that are here and there. Wow. How does he think they ended up in those positions in the first place? Like, what changed between 50 years ago when you didn't see so much representation to now? Like, what is different? The woke policies. The woke policies that said, let's have, let's uplift, right? Let's have more diversity. These corporations specifically went out and tried to diversify their staff, right? The woke agenda led to these things he's bragging about. Now, someone would say, how dare I suggest that the only reason that these people were there is because of the woke agenda? I'm not saying that. But again, what changed? What's different? Why were these people not represented as much in the past, and now they are? Could it be the rise of the wokesters who have been saying we gotta do something, and pushing and fighting and whatever, and then, the end result, corporations re-examining. They don't want to be labeled as whatever negative term. They want to make sure that they're seen as progressive or whatever it is. They certainly aren't. But they want money from people who are, right? They want money from the wokesters, so they wokeify their companies by making it easier for, I should say making it easier necessarily, but breaking down certain barriers, right? There was a time where I would have trouble finding work because of my skin color, right? And now we have a couple things going on. Now, dishonest people want to pretend like there's only one thing going on. Dishonest people want to talk about the only reason that I get a job is because of my skin color, right? So it's reverse racism, right? That's inaccurate. We've got two things that have changed. People have progressed in their thinking. So you have a lot of people that are much more open to diversity. So meaning, without any special treatment or reverse racism, it is now much, much more possible for you with brown skin to be looked at, just like any other candidate and get the job if you're the most qualified for it. Like, that is much more likely because you go back in time, you have way more people that are like, oh, those blacks, right? You got a lot more of that going on. So, number one, you have a lot less of that. People's thought process has progressed. Because remember, just like with gay marriage, right? There was a time when gay marriage was, hugely resisted. But now, thanks to the wokeification, now, it's majority accepted. People just like, okay, they same-sex couples, okay, what about it? Right? So not only do you have more acceptance, which allows someone with brown skin like myself to be able to succeed, but you also have these programs, these woke programs, diversity and equity, which intentionally try to diversify. Like, I have not been part of that with my current employer, but they do have such a program, and I have seen people in my company who are part of that program, meaning my employer actively seeks to recruit minorities, right? So we have a corporation, wokeified, actively seeking to hire minorities, and then we have the wokester Tim Scott bragging about it. What are you talking about? Systematic racism. We don't have systematic racism. Woke policies have taken care of a lot of the systematic racism. Holy shit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new wokester in the Republican Party, Tim Scott. He's all about the woke. He's woker than Tim Pool. Man, this country has become such a joke. Such a circus. America the Beautiful. USA, 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 USA.